Bryan Wellbrock, and I retired as a lieutenant commander, LDO. Talking to the detailers, they said, well, you have to go back to sea and finish your sea tour. I said, well, I ain't going back to the Intrepid. If I go back to sea, it can't be that one. So he talked to the chief with him and stuff and everything, and got me on the William H. Standley, which was a brand spanking new guided missile destroyer. I was part of the first crew that was relieving the plank owners. Brand new, and everything in there was like, wow. You know, we had air conditioning, we had heat, we had good food. She didn't ride too well because she was very top heavy, but you got used to that. But she was a brand new ship. I mean, it's about 2 years old when I went on board her. The guided missile frigates had a ASW capability. We had sonar, we had surface radars, we had the ability to be a threat both on and below the surface. And she was fast. I mean, she was quick, and we had a small crew, very tight crew. We had a great skipper on there. We had a great chief, and she was as a warship. I mean, she was a really fine-tuned machine. Being new, we had all the newest stuff on board, and very few casualties and stuff because everything worked. She was boiler powered. She wasn't a turbine, so I never did get to experience a ship that was propelled with turbines. But yeah, she was quick. The only thing about her, she was top heavy, and most ships that size, carriers ride just about like where we're sitting. You know, most of the time, it takes a really rough sea to move that thing around. But the DLGs, they had a lot of radars and stuff up, and made her a little bit top heavy, so she had a real great roll. And the rougher the seas were, the more she'd roll. And I used to joke with the kids and stuff. I said, I have, in my lifetime, left footprints on bulkheads because of the roll of the ship. And then she would do these little figure eights and come up, and then she'd come back down because she said, you know, you're into the sea, and at the same time you're rolling, and she'd go up and she'd go back down. It's like, oh, gracious sakes. But yeah, she wasn't the best ride. You know, she wasn't as small as the destroyer, so I can't really say I was a tin can sailor. But at the same time, we experienced a lot of stuff on the way. But it was just the size of the crew and the leadership that we had at the time just made it a really great experience. It changed my whole outlook on the Navy by being on that ship, because it was a small radio shack, and you developed some really close relationships with people. All the kind of things that you think about the military is about. A carrier doesn't foster that too well because of its size. The smaller ships, it's amazing how many people and stuff that you really, there's still a couple of people that I know and still correspond with and everything. And this was a long time ago when I was on there. So that kind of kept me going. And from my EAOS come up on there, typically I was in a proper pipeline from years in service and stuff. I'd have to be able to go out to San Diego and go through RMB school, the Radioman Class B school, which was, I don't know, 4 or 5 months long or something like that. And I'd really come to like that rating. I mean, all of us, we were never trained it as a CYN. You just kind of the basics of teletype operations and stuff. But going on to Standley, as small as the crew is, you got to do everything. You got to do, you know, work transmitters, work receivers, work with the message traffic. And you really got a good feel for the complete scope of the rating. And so the B school and stuff really fine-tunes you for that and stuff when you come out of that. When I graduated from there, I went down to NAVCOM Stay Key West, Florida.